I had 45 seconds before the dessert spoons hit the table and the bullets tore through the Korean Mafia boss's heart. 45 seconds. That's all the time I had to decide whether to let a dangerous man die or save the stranger whose fiancé had just ordered his execution. My hand shook as I folded the receipt, ink smearing, breath stuttering, because once this note left my fingers, there was no undoing it. Your fiancé sold you out. They're in position. Before we dive in, take a breath. Sit back, relax, and let this story pull you in the way only real heartbreak and danger can. And while you're here, don't forget to like the video and hit subscribe, because the stories coming next, you don't want to miss them. Nia Brooks was not supposed to be a hero. She was supposed to be invisible. A Black American waitress surviving night shifts at the Gilded Lotus, the most dangerous restaurant in Chicago, pretending to be elegant. Tonight, invisibility died. Table 1 commanded the room like a throne. Kang Min-jun sat in a tailored black suit that cost more than her yearly rent. His presence so heavy, the air bent around him. Sharp jawline, black eyes that swallowed light. The kind of stillness that came from men who'd buried bodies and slept soundly after. Across from him, Carolina glowed in red silk. Diamond engagement ring catching candlelight. Smile perfect, posture regal, a woman who looked like love, but Nia had heard her in the wine cellar 20 minutes ago. Table 1, clean shot, as soon as he settles. The words had sliced through the cold stone vault while Nia crouched between bottles, heart hammering so loud she was certain they'd hear it through her ribs. Italian voices, then Russian, then Carolina's heels, click, click, click. Walking away, leaving only Chanel No. 5 and murder hanging in the air. Now Nia stood at table 1, dessert tray trembling in her hands. 30 seconds. Men who weren't eating scattered through the restaurant, eyes too sharp, hands too ready. She didn't know how many. She just knew they were waiting. Nia placed the desserts down. Tiramisu for Carolina, panna cotta for Min-jun. Her fingers slick with terror. The folded receipt slid beneath his coaster like a last prayer. She turned to leave. His voice stopped her. The wine. Low, controlled. The kind of voice that didn't need volume to draw blood. Nia's pulse spiked. Sir? Min-jun's eyes hadn't moved from Carolina's face, but his hand, scarred knuckles, silver ring, tapped the coaster once. The note disappeared into his palm. 15 seconds. He read without looking down. His jaw locked, just once. Then he smiled. It was the smile of a man who knew exactly how you'd die. Carolina, he said softly, lifting his wine glass. To us, to loyalty that never breaks. The room held its breath. Carolina's smile cracked at the edges. Min-jun switched their glasses. The movement was effortless, deadly. I prefer the darker vintage tonight, he murmured. You don't mind, do you? Carolina stared at the glass now before her, the glass meant for him, the glass she'd planned, the glass that would prove everything. Her fingers trembled on the stem. Foundation melted down her temple in a thin, wet line. When she lifted it to her lips, the wine glass stem cracked. Tiny, nearly silent, but Min-jun heard it. 5 seconds. His gaze cut to Nia, black eyes pinning her in place like a butterfly on glass. Nia Brooks! Her name in his mouth was a brand. Do you believe in fate? Her lips parted. The lights died. Screams erupted. Glass exploded. Gunfire tore through silk and skin. And the war began. 20 minutes before the war, Nia was just trying not to drop a $3,000 bottle of wine. The Gilded Lotus kept its premium collection in the basement. Stone walls, controlled cold, the kind of silence that made you aware of your own heartbeat. Nia descended carefully, phone flashlight cutting between rows of bottles older than her grandmother. She needed the 2009 Barolo. She found murder instead. Voices drifted from the vault's back corner. Italian, then Russian, then a woman's voice, clear and American, slicing through the foreign words like a blade through silk. Carolina. Nia froze between the Merlot and Chardonnay. Table 1. Clean shot. the moment he cuts into dessert. A man responded in Italian, low, confirming. Carolina continued in English, her tone casual as if ordering coffee. The violinist covers the sound. 2 minutes were gone. The restaurant burns by midnight. Burns. Nia's lungs locked. Witnesses? A Russian accent, thick. Handled. Everyone dies. 3 words. Flat. Final. Nia's hands went numb. The bottle slipped. She caught it inches from shattering, her pulse screaming in her ears. And Min Jun's brother? The Russian again. Carolina laughed. Soft. Poisonous. Juno gets Chicago. That was always the deal. Footsteps. Heels clicking closer. Nia pressed herself against the wine rack, praying the shadows would swallow her whole. Chanel number 5 drifted past. The voices climbed the stairs. Silence returned, but it wasn't empty anymore. It was full of ghosts. People who didn't know they were already dead. Nia stood there, shaking, a bottle of Barolo clutched to her chest. She should call the police. She should run. She should do what every survival instinct screamed. Stay invisible. But her mind kept circling back to 3 words. Everyone dies. Not just him. Everyone. The couple celebrating their anniversary at table 4. The businessman on his phone at the bar. The college girl splitting tiramisu by the window. Her. Nia climbed the stairs, her decision made before her brain caught up. She grabbed a pen from the hostess stand, tore a blank receipt from her apron, and wrote 6 words with a hand that wouldn't stop shaking. Your fiancé sold you out. They're in position. If he believed her, maybe he'd run. If he didn't, at least she tried. 20 minutes later, she slid that note beneath his coaster and watched her life end. Min Jun read the note without moving his eyes from Carolina's face. 6 words, a stranger's handwriting, a waitress he'd never seen before, and yet, his gut, the same instinct that had kept him breathing through 15 years of war, believed her. He didn't reach for his gun, didn't tense, didn't give Carolina or the men scattered through the restaurant a single reason to move early. Instead, he smiled. Carolina. He lifted his wine glass. To us, to loyalty that never breaks. She smiled back, but her eyes flicked left, toward the bartender who hadn't poured a drink in 20 minutes. Min Jun saw it, saw everything. The busboy standing too still, the violinist adjusting her case, the exits blocked by men pretending to wait for tables. He was surrounded, outgunned, already dead, unless... He switched their glasses mid-toast, smooth, effortless, the gesture of a man in love. Carolina's breath caught, her fingers tightened on the stem until her knuckles blanched white. I prefer the darker vintage tonight, Min Jun said softly. You don't mind, do you? The restaurant hummed with oblivious conversation, forks on china, laughter, a woman's bright voice saying, "It's our anniversary." Carolina stared at the glass now in front of her, the one meant for him. Of course not, her voice barely held. Anything for you. She drank. Min Jun watched the wine slide down her throat, watched her set the glass down with a trembling hand, watched the exact second she realized he knew. He leaned forward, his whisper a knife between ribs. How much did my brother pay you? Her face drained to bone. The wine glass cracked in her grip. Min Jun stood, his hand clamping around the waitress's wrist, hard enough to bruise, gentle enough not to break. You ruined a $12,000 suit, he announced, fury bleeding into every word. Nia's eyes went wide. He dragged her toward the kitchen, leaning close, his lips brushing her ear. Left exit. When it goes dark. Run. He released her with a shove. Carolina's hand moved beneath the table. A signal. The lights died. Darkness, then screaming. Nia ran left, her body moving before her brain processed the command. She slammed into a wall, ricocheted off a table, her ankle twisting as a chair caught her shin. Gunfire erupted. Not 1 shot, not 2, a storm of them. The emergency lights kicked on. Blood red pulsing, turning the restaurant into hell. Nia saw bodies, actual bodies. The anniversary couple sprawled across their table, the businessman face down in shattered glass. She couldn't breathe, couldn't scream, couldn't... Min-jun grabbed her, his hand iron around her wrist, yanking her toward the kitchen as bullets punched holes in the space where her head had been. Move! The kitchen doors exploded inward, kicked open by two men in black, rifles raised. Min-jun didn't slow. He grabbed a pot of boiling stock from the stove and launched it. The first man's scream wasn't human. The second fired. Min-jun twisted. The bullet tore through his shoulder instead of Nia's spine. He didn't make a sound, just drove forward, ripping a chef's knife from the magnetic strip and buried it under the shooter's jaw. The body collapsed. Nia stood frozen, her hands numb, her vision tunneling. Min-jun's face appeared in front of hers, blood-spattered, eyes blazing. "Nia Brooks!" His voice cut through her shock. "Breathe!" She couldn't. "Breathe!" She gasped. Once, twice. "Good! Now run!" He pulled her through the kitchen, past cooks cowering in the walk-in freezer, past the dishwasher sobbing against the wall, toward a storage room in the back. He shoved her inside, slammed the door, dragged a steel shelf across it. Then finally he let himself bleed. His shoulder was leaking red through designer fabric. Nia's hands moved on autopilot. 2 semesters of nursing school before the money ran out. She tore his jacket open, pressed a clean towel against the wound. Why? Min-jun's voice was quiet, dangerous. "Why did you warn me?" "I don't let people die." "I'm not people. I've killed more men than you've served tables." "I don't care." His eyes searched hers, looking for the lie, the angle, the betrayal. He found none. "You just signed your death warrant," he said. "Better than watching yours." Something shifted in his face, not softness, but recognition, as if he'd just seen her for the first time. "Nia Brooks," he murmured. "You're the most dangerous woman I've ever met." "I'm a waitress." "Not anymore." The door exploded. Each wasn't kicked, it was blown. Smoke and fire and 3 men pouring through before Nia's ears stopped ringing. Min-jun fired, 1 dropped, 2 scattered behind industrial shelves. Rice bags exploded as bullets tore through them, white powder filling the air like a blizzard. Nia couldn't see, couldn't hear past the gunfire. Min-jun's hand found hers in the chaos. "Stay low." A shadow moved through the rice storm, gun raised. Nia grabbed the nearest thing, a 50-pound bag of flour, and hurled it. It caught the man in the chest, throwing off his aim. Min-jun was already moving. A flash of steel, a choked gasp, silence. When the flour settled, the man was dead, Min-jun's knife in his throat. But Nia wasn't looking at the body. She was looking at the tattoo on his neck, Korean characters, the same symbol engraved on Min-jun's ring. "He's my brother's," Min-jun finished. His voice was hollow, empty. "Juno sent him." "Your brother is trying to kill you?" Min-jun pulled his knife free, wiped it clean. "My brother wants my empire. Carolina wanted my money. Everyone I've ever trusted wants me dead." He looked at her then. Really looked. "Except you." Footsteps thundered closer. Dozens of them. Min-jun grabbed her hand and ran. Through a service corridor hidden behind crates. Out a back exit into an alley where snow was starting to fall. A black SUV screeched up. His men, loyal ones, the few left. The door flew open. Min-jun shoved Nia inside just as a second vehicle roared into the alley behind them. Gunfire shredded metal. The SUV peeled out, tires screaming as bullets punched through windows. Nia lay on the floor, Min-jun's body covering hers, his blood soaking into her uniform. She was shaking, not from cold, from the realization that 20 minutes ago she was worried about dropping wine. Now she was running from men who'd murdered an entire restaurant to kill 1 person, and she'd just made herself target number 2. Min-jun's hand found hers in the dark. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "For what?" "For being the reason you'll never be invisible again." The SUV swerved, more gunfire, and Nia realized something terrifying. She didn't want to be invisible anymore. It was a fortress pretending to be a penthouse, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Chicago's skyline, marble floors that echoed every footstep, furniture that cost more than Nia's childhood home. But the windows were bulletproof, the doors were reinforced steel, and the men standing guard had the eyes of soldiers who'd seen too many wars. Nia sat on a leather couch worth someone's yearly salary, still wearing her blood-soaked uniform, still shaking. Min Jun stood by the window, phone pressed to his ear, speaking rapid Korean. His shoulder was bandaged, white gauze already seeping red, but he stood like the wound was nothing, like getting shot was just another Tuesday. When he finished the call, he turned to face her. The silence stretched. Nia broke first. "How many died?" Min Jun's jaw tightened. 14 civilians, 6 of my men, all of Carolina's team. The anniversary couple? Dead before the lights came back on. Nia's stomach twisted. She'd seen their bodies, but hearing it confirmed made it real. And Carolina? Gone. She knew the second I switched the glasses. Min Jun crossed the room, poured 2 glasses of whiskey from a crystal decanter. He handed her one. "Drink." "I don't drink." She drank. The whiskey burned, but it brought feeling back to her numb fingers. Min Jun sat across from her, his black eyes studying her like she was a puzzle he couldn't solve. "Why did you save me, Nia Brooks? You already asked me that, and you didn't answer." Nia set the glass down, her hands steadier now, because I heard them say, "Everyone dies. Not just you, everyone. The couple celebrating 50 years of marriage, the college kids, the woman who just got promoted. Everyone." She met his eyes. "I didn't save you. I tried to save them." Something flickered across Min Jun's face. Not hurt, something deeper. Respect. "They died anyway," he said quietly. "I know. Because of me." "No." Nia's voice was steel. "Because of the people who wanted you dead. Don't you dare put their blood on your hands when you didn't pull the trigger." Min Jun stared at her. Then, for the first time since the note, he smiled. Not the predator's smile from the restaurant, not the killer's smile in the kitchen. Something real. "You're angry," he said. "I'm furious." "Good." He leaned forward. "Anger will keep you alive. Fear will get you killed." "I'm both." "Then use the anger and bury the fear." Nia laughed, sharp, bitter. "That's easy for you to say. You're, what, a monster?" "I was going to say trained." "Same thing." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his face going blank. "What?" Nia asked. Min Jun turned the screen toward her. A photo. Her face, her name, her address. And below it, in English and Korean, 2 million alive or dead. Nia's blood turned to ice. "They know who you are," Min Jun said. "They know where you live. They know where your mother works, where your sister goes to school, where your—" "Stop!" Nia's voice cracked. "Please stop." Min Jun's hand covered hers. Warm. Steady. "I will keep you alive, Nia Brooks. I swear it on every soul I've sent to hell." "Why?" The word broke. "Why do you care? You don't know me. I'm nobody." "You're not nobody." His grip tightened. "You're the only person in 15 years who saved my life without wanting something in return." "I want something." "What?" "I want to go home." Min Jun's expression didn't change, but his eyes, God, his eyes looked devastated. "You can't." "I know." And that's when Nia Brooks, 26-year-old waitress, nursing school dropout, daughter of a single mother, sister to a girl who still believed in fairy tales, finally broke. She cried. Not prettily, not quietly. She sobbed. Ugly, gasping. The kind of crying that came from realizing your entire life had been incinerated in 45 seconds. Min Jun didn't tell her to stop, didn't tell her to be strong. He just moved to the couch beside her, pulled her against his chest, and let her shatter. His hand stroked her hair. His voice, low and steady, whispered in Korean, words she didn't understand but somehow felt. And for the first time since the wine cellar, Nia felt something other than terror. She felt safe. Even though safe was a lie. Even though Safe had died with the anniversary couple. Even though Safe was something she'd never feel again. But in Min Jun's arms, surrounded by bulletproof glass and armed guards and the wreckage of her old life, she let herself believe it. Just for a moment. Woke on the couch, a cashmere blanket draped over her, sunlight cutting through the windows. For 3 seconds, she forgot. Then reality crashed back. The restaurant, the bodies, the price on her head. She sat up, her uniform stiff with dried blood. Min Jun stood in the kitchen, shirtless, his bandaged shoulder stark white against golden skin. He was making coffee like a man who hadn't been shot 12 hours ago. "You're awake," he said without turning. "How did you know?" "Your breathing changed." Of course it did. This man noticed everything. He poured 2 cups, brought one to her, black, strong enough to strip paint. Nia drank gratefully. "I need to call my family," she said. "No. They'll think I'm dead. They'll be bait." Min Jun's voice was granite. "The second you contact them, Juno's people will be watching, listening, waiting for you to slip. So I just disappear? For now." Nia's hands shook. "My sister is 17. I know." Min Jun sat beside her. "I already have people watching your family, discreetly. If anyone approaches them, I'll know." "You did that." "I did that." Nia stared at him. "Why?" "Because you saved my life. That makes your family my responsibility." "That's not how responsibility works. It is in my world." He set his coffee down, his expression shifting to something darker. "I need to tell you about Carolina." Nia waited. The engagement was arranged, a merger between my organization and the Volkov family in Moscow. She was beautiful, intelligent, perfect on paper. But she was in love with someone else. Min Jun's jaw tightened. "My brother." Nia's breath caught. "Juno?" "They've been together for 2 years. I knew. I didn't care. The engagement was business, not love. I told Carolina she could have whoever she wanted after the wedding. Discretion was all I required." "Then why kill you?" "Because Juno wanted the empire, and Carolina wanted to be queen instead of consort." Min Jun's eyes were black ice. Together, they decided I was the obstacle. "Your own brother. Family is just people who know which knife hurts most." The bitterness in his voice was centuries old. Nia reached out, her hand covering his. "Not all family." Min Jun looked at their hands, her brown fingers against his scarred knuckles. "You still believe that?" "I have to." Something in his expression softened. "Then you're stronger than me. Or more naive. Maybe both." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his face going blank. "What now?" Nia asked. "Juno sent a message." He turned the screen. A video. Nia's stomach dropped before he even pressed play. The video showed a warehouse, empty except for a chair in the center, and in that chair, a man, beaten, bloody, barely conscious. The camera zoomed in on his face. Min Jun's hand clenched so tight the phone cracked. "Who is that?" Nia whispered. "My father's oldest friend, the man who taught me how to fight, how to survive." Min Jun's voice was hollow. "The only person left who remembers me before I became this." Juno's voice came through the speakers, calm, conversational. "Young, big brother, I'm being merciful. I'm giving you a choice." The camera panned to show another figure in the shadows, bound, gagged, female. The camera zoomed closer. Nia's blood froze. It was a woman in her 50s, kind face, familiar eyes. "Is that my mother?" Min Jun's voice cracked. "I thought she was dead." Juno continued. 2 locations. 2 hours. You can only save one." The screen went black. Then an address appeared. Then another. Opposite ends of the city. Min Jun stood, his face a mask carved from stone, but his hands shook. Nia stood with him. "We'll save them both." "We can't." "We'll try." Min Jun looked at her, really looked, like she was light in a world that had gone dark. "Nia Brooks, he whispered. "You make me believe impossible things." He grabbed his jacket, wincing as the movement pulled his shoulder. "Stay here. The guards will—" "No." "What?" Nia grabbed her own jacket, borrowed from his closet, hanging past her knees. "You saved my life. I saved yours. We're even. But if you walk out that door alone, we're partners." "Partners die, Nia." "Then we die together." Minjun studied her for a long moment. Then he handed her a gun. "Do you know how to use this?" "No." "Good. Don't. Just point it at anyone who isn't me and pull the trigger." "That's terrible advice. It's kept me alive for 15 years. They headed for the door, and Nia realized she'd just chosen her side. No going back. No more invisibility. Just the warehouse on South Side was a tomb waiting to happen. Minjun's team moved like shadows, 6 men, all loyal, all killers. They swept the perimeter while Minjun and Nia waited in the SUV. "It's a trap," Minjun said. "Obviously," Nia replied. "So why are we here?" "Because he's your family. He's a liability. He's a person." Minjun's jaw clenched. "In my world, those are the same thing." His earpiece crackled. "Korean. Fast." Minjun's expression went dark. "What?" Nia asked. "The building is wired, explosives, enough to level the block." "Can they disarm it?" "Not in 2 hours." Nia's mind raced. "What about the other location? Your mother?" "Same setup, different trap." Minjun slammed his fist against the dashboard. "Juno wants me to choose. He wants me to live with whichever one I let die. Then we don't choose." "Nia." "We split up. You take one, I take the other." Minjun turned to her, fury and fear warring in his eyes. "Absolutely not. You have 6 men. Send 3 with you, 3 with me. You're not trained. You're not—" "I'm here." Nia's voice was steel. "And I'm not letting someone die because you want to protect me. This isn't about protection. It's about keeping you alive. Why? Because I saved you. Because you feel guilty?" Nia grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. "I'm not your responsibility, Minjun. I'm your partner, and partners trust each other." Minjun stared at her. Then he kissed her. Hard, desperate. The kiss of a man who'd spent 15 years keeping everyone at gunpoint distance and suddenly couldn't remember why. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. "If you die," he whispered, "I will burn this city to ash." "Then make sure I don't." He pulled out his phone, barked orders in Korean. 3 men appeared at Nia's door. "They'll follow your lead," Minjun said. "I don't have a lead." "Then don't die. That's the plan." He kissed her once more, quick, fierce. Then he was gone, his team disappearing into the warehouse shadows. Nia looked at her 3 guards, stone-faced, armed, waiting. "Okay," she said, "let's go save his mother." They moved, and somewhere across the city, a clock started counting down. Chapter 9. The First Assault on the Safe House. The location Minjun sent Nia to wasn't a warehouse. It was a church, abandoned, Gothic, windows shattered, the kind of place where hope went to die. Nia's guards moved first, weapons drawn, checking corners. Clear, too clear. They found Minjun's mother in the basement, tied to a support beam, gagged but alive. Nia ran to her, pulling the gag free. "Where is he?" the woman gasped. "Where's Minjun?" "Safe. We're getting you out." One of the guards started cutting her bonds. That's when Nia heard it. A sound like wind chimes, metallic, rhythmic. She looked up. The ceiling was lined with tripwires. "Stop!" Too late. The guard's knife sliced through the final rope. The tripwire released, and the world exploded. Nia woke in rubble. Her ears were ringing, her vision blurred, blood in her mouth. She was alive. That surprised her. She tried to move, her legs screamed, pinned under concrete. One of the guards was dead, head at the wrong angle. The other 2 were moving, groaning, crawling. Minjun's mother lay 3 feet away, unconscious but breathing. Nia tried to lift the concrete. Couldn't. Too heavy. Footsteps echoed above. Voices. Korean. Not Minjun's people. Juno's. They'd been waiting. A figure appeared at the top of the basement stairs, backlit, silhouetted, male, tall, moving with Min Jun's predatory grace. But it wasn't Min Jun. The man descended slowly, gun raised. When he stepped into the light, Nia's blood froze. Same face, same eyes, same bone structure. But where Min Jun's expression held controlled violence, this man's held cruelty. "Juno, you must be the waitress," he said. His English was perfect, accent-free. "The one who ruined everything." Nia said nothing. Juno crouched beside her, tilting his head. "My brother kissed you before he left. I saw the drone footage. Fascinating. Min Jun doesn't kiss. Min Jun doesn't feel." He pressed the gun to her forehead. "What makes you special?" Nia met his eyes. "I'm not the one who betrayed family." Juno smiled. "Neither am I. I'm saving the family. Min Jun turned us into monsters. I'm turning us into kings." "By killing your mother?" "She was always his favorite." Juno's smile never wavered. "Sacrifice is necessary for evolution." The gun cocked. Nia closed her eyes. A gunshot rang out. But it wasn't Juno's gun. He jerked, blood blooming on his shoulder, stumbling back. One of Nia's guards, barely conscious, arm shaking, had fired. Juno snarled, shot back. The guard dropped. But the distraction was enough. The concrete pinning Nia shifted, the other surviving guard hauling it off her with superhuman strength. "Run!" he screamed. Nia grabbed Min Jun's mother, dragging her toward the stairs. Behind her, gunfire, shouting. She didn't look back. They burst out of the church into blinding daylight. An SUV screeched up, Min Jun's, his face a mask of rage and terror when he saw her. He was out before the car stopped, catching her as her leg gave out. "You're alive," he breathed, barely. He looked past her. "Juno?" "Alive, wounded." Min Jun's expression went murderous. "Get them out," he told his driver. Then to Nia, "Stay in the car." "Min Jun, stay." He turned toward the church, gun drawn. Nia grabbed his wrist. "He's your brother." "Not anymore." And Min Jun walked into the building where his brother was bleeding. Nia didn't hear gunshots. She heard something worse. Silence. When Min Jun emerged 5 minutes later, he was alone. His face was blank. His knuckles were bloody, and his eyes looked like something inside him had finally irrevocably broken. He got in the car without a word. They drove. And Nia knew, whatever happened in that church, the man beside her had just crossed a line he could never uncross. They didn't go back to the penthouse. "Compromised," Min Jun said. His voice was flat, empty. They drove to the docks, abandoned warehouses, rusted shipping containers, the smell of decay and Lake Michigan. Min Jun's remaining men secured a perimeter. His mother was taken to a safe location, separate, protected. And then it was just Nia and Min Jun in a container that smelled like metal and salt. He sat on the floor, back against the wall, staring at nothing. Nia's leg throbbed, sprained, not broken. She'd live. She sat beside him. Neither spoke for a long time. Finally, "Did you kill him?" Min Jun didn't answer. "Min Jun, did you—" "No." His voice cracked. "I should have. I wanted to. But I couldn't." He looked at her then, and his eyes were devastated. "He's my brother, Nia. He tried to kill me, tried to kill you, tried to kill our mother, and I still couldn't pull the trigger. That doesn't make you weak. It makes me a fool. It makes you human." Min Jun laughed, bitter, broken. "I stopped being human a long time ago." Nia took his hand. "The man who couldn't kill his brother is human. The man who protected my family is human. The man who held me while I cried is human. The man who got 14 people killed didn't pull the trigger," Nia finished fiercely. "Stop carrying their blood. It's not yours to carry." Min Jun's hand tightened on hers. "I left him alive," he whispered. "I beat him, broke his arm, told him if I ever saw him again I'd finish it. Then I walked away. Good. He'll come back. I know. He'll try again. I know. And next time, I'll have to kill him. Nia turned his face toward hers. Then next time, you will. But today, you chose mercy. Don't regret that. Minjun stared at her like she was something holy in a world of sin. Then he kissed her. Not desperate this time. Slow, deep. The kiss of a man memorizing salvation. When they broke apart, his forehead rested against hers. Nia Brooks, he murmured. You're going to ruin me. Too late. What? You're already ruined. I'm just helping you rebuild. Minjun smiled, sad, real. Then stay, please, stay. Where would I go? Anywhere. I could get you new papers, new identity, new life. Without you, you'd be safe. I'd be alone. Nia's hand cupped his face. I choose you, Minjun. I choose this, all of it. Even the war? Especially the war. He pulled her close, and they sat in that shipping container. Two people who should have died, holding each other like gravity. Outside, the city burned. Inside, something new was being born. Not love, not yet, but the promise of it, the possibility. And in a world of bullets and betrayal, that was enough. Chapter 11. The Blood Debt. 3 days after the church. 3 days of hiding in shipping containers, abandoned factories, places that smelled like rust and fear. 3 days of Minjun barely speaking, barely sleeping, barely existing as anything other than a ghost planning vengeance. Nia watched him unravel, not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, like a structure collapsing from the inside while the exterior stayed intact. He stood at the window of their current safe house, a loft above a closed butcher shop, the smell of old meat seeping through the floorboards, staring at Chicago's skyline like it was a chessboard, and he was calculating moves. You haven't eaten, Nia said, not hungry. You haven't slept, not tired. Minjun, don't. His voice was blade sharp. Don't tell me to rest. Don't tell me I need to take care of myself. Don't. He stopped, took a breath. When he spoke again, his voice was quieter, broken. I let him live, Nia. I had him, bleeding, helpless, and I walked away. Because he's your brother. Because I'm weak. Nia crossed the room, grabbed his face, forced him to look at her. You're not weak. You're human. There's a difference. In my world, they're the same thing. Then your world is wrong. Minjun's eyes searched hers, looking for the lie, the angle, the inevitable betrayal. He found none. His hands came up to cover hers, scarred knuckles, trembling fingers. He killed 14 people to get to me, Minjun whispered. How many more will die because I let him walk? I don't know. That's not comforting. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to make sure you don't lose yourself. What if I already have? Nia's thumb traced his cheekbone. Then I'll help you find the pieces. His phone buzzed. Both of them tensed. Minjun pulled it out, scanned the message, his face going stone. What? Nia asked. Juno sent a location. Neutral ground. He wants to meet. It's a trap, obviously. So you're not going. Minjun smiled, cold, lethal. I'm absolutely going. The meeting place was the observation deck of Willis Tower, closed for renovations, empty, glass floor stretching over a 1,000-foot drop. Nia stood on solid ground, refusing to step onto the transparent panels. Minjun walked to the center without hesitation, standing over the void like gravity was optional. Juno emerged from the stairwell. His arm was in a sling, the one Minjun had broken. His face was bruised, but he moved with the same predatory grace, the same cold confidence. Brothers, mirrors, enemies. Hyung, Juno said, respectful, mocking. Don't call me that. Minjun's voice was ice. Why not? You're still my older brother. You forfeited that when you tried to kill me. Juno smiled. I tried to free you from responsibility, from leadership, from the weight of an empire built on our father's blood. You wanted it for yourself. I wanted it for us. Juno's voice rose. Together, split 50-50, but you refused. You always refuse. Because you'd burn it down the second you got bored. Maybe, Juno shrugged, but at least I'd feel something. You're already dead, Minjun. You just don't know it yet. Minjun's hand moved toward his concealed weapon. Juno's mirrored it. They stood facing each other, two gunslingers over a glass abyss. I didn't come here to kill you, Juno said. I came to make an offer. I'm listening. Walk away. Take your waitress. Disappear. I'll give you 24 hours. After that, every resource I have hunts you both until you're corpses. And if I refuse, then the war continues. More bodies, more blood, more collateral damage. Juno's eyes flicked to Nia, starting with her. Minjun moved, not for his gun, for his brother's throat. They crashed through the glass observation panel, safety glass reinforced, but it spiderwebbed under their combined weight. Juno twisted, slamming Minjun's wounded shoulder. Minjun roared, drove his knee into Juno's ribs. They rolled, grappling, brothers who'd learned to fight from the same master, reading each other's moves before they happened, evenly matched, perfectly balanced, destroying each other. Nia screamed their names. Neither heard. Minjun got on top, fist raised, and froze, Juno's face beneath him, bleeding, defiant, smiling. Do it, Juno whispered. Prove you're not weak. Kill me like you killed everyone else who got in your way. Minjun's fist trembled. Do it! Minjun stood, backed away. I'm not you, he said quietly. Juno laughed. Wet? Pained? No, you're worse. You're a coward who pretends mercy is strength. He stood, clutching his ribs, limping toward the stairwell. At the door, he turned back. 24 hours, young. Then she dies screaming, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. He vanished. Minjun stood on the cracked glass, staring at nothing. Nia approached carefully. Minjun, I should have killed him. Maybe. He's going to come for you. I know. And when he does, I won't be able to stop him. Because I can't. His voice broke. Nia took his hand. Then we don't wait for him to come. We go to him first. Minjun looked at her. That's suicide. It's strategy. He's expecting you to run or hide, so we do the opposite. Nia! You spared him twice, that's done. Over. Next time... She squeezed his hand. Next time, you do what you have to do, and I'll be right there with you. Minjun pulled her close, his forehead resting against hers. I'm going to get you killed. Probably. That doesn't scare you? Terrifies me. But dying invisible in some nursing home in 50 years scares me more. He kissed her. Not desperate, not gentle. A promise written in violence and devotion. When they broke apart, his eyes were clear, focused. 24 hours, he said, that's what he gave us. Then let's make them count. Armory was beneath a Korean bathhouse in Chinatown. Steam and heat above, cold steel below. Minjun led Nia down a staircase hidden behind a false wall, past biometric scanners that read his thumbprint, iris, and something else she couldn't identify. The door opened. Nia's breath caught. Weapons, hundreds of them, rifles on racks, pistols in cases, knives that look like art, explosives stored with terrifying precision. This is my father's legacy, Minjun said quietly. He believed in being prepared for war. Any war. Every war. He moved through the space like a curator in a museum, selecting items with deliberate care. 2 pistols, compact, lethal, a tactical vest, ammunition. Something small and rectangular that he pocketed without explanation. Then he turned to Nia. Your turn. I told you. I don't know how to... I know. He pulled a pistol from a locked case. Smaller. Lighter. Which is why you're getting the simplest weapon I have. Point. Shoot. Don't think. He pressed it into her hands. The weight was terrifying. I can't. You will. When it's your life or theirs, you will. He positioned himself behind her, guiding her stance, adjusting her grip, his chest pressed against her back, his breath warm on her neck. feet shoulder width, knees soft, arms extended but not locked. He covered her hands with his. Breathe in. She did. Exhale and squeeze. The gun kicked. The target 20 feet away sprouted a hole. Off center, but there. Again, Minjun said. They practiced until her hands stopped shaking, until the holes in the target clustered tighter, until she stopped flinching at the sound. When Minjun finally stepped back, his expression was unreadable. You're a fast learner. I'm terrified. Good. Fear keeps you sharp. He holstered his own weapons. But don't let it paralyze you. Nia set the gun down, her hands still vibrating from the recoil. Minjun, when we go after Juno, when this ends, what happens to us? He went still. What do you mean? I mean, once the war is over. Once your brother is dead or gone. Once I'm not a target anymore. She forced herself to meet his eyes. Do we just go back to normal? Do I go back to being invisible? Minjun crossed the distance between them in 2 strides. Normal doesn't exist anymore, Nia. Not for either of us. His hands framed her face. And I will never let you be invisible again. What are you saying? I'm saying... He stopped, struggled, then forced it out. I'm saying you're mine, and I'm yours. However broken that is, however dangerous, however wrong. Nia's heart hammered. Minjun, you don't have to say it back. You don't have to feel the same. But I need you to know that whatever happens tomorrow... She kissed him. Hard. Desperate. A drowning person finding air. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. I feel the same, she whispered. I'm terrified and furious and so far past sane I can't even see it anymore. But I feel the same. Minjun smiled, genuine, unguarded. Then let's go to war. They geared up in silence. Nia watched Minjun transform, each weapon strapped on, each movement precise, until he looked less like a man and more like a weapon himself. What's the plan? She asked. Juno's consolidating power, moving into my father's old estate. He thinks it's symbolic, taking the throne. It's also defensible. Exactly, which means he won't expect a frontal assault. Because it's suicide. Because it's honest. Minjun checked his weapons one final time. No tricks, no traps. Just me, walking through the front door, demanding my empire back. That's insane. That's the point. Juno knows strategy. He knows subterfuge. But he doesn't know rage. Minjun's eyes were black fire. And I'm done being strategic. What about me? You stay in the car with Taewan, 50 yards back. If it goes wrong... No. Nia. I didn't learn to shoot just to sit in a car. I didn't survive this. Long just to watch you die alone. She grabbed his vest, pulling him close. We're partners, remember? Minjun stared at her for a long moment, then nodded. Partners. He handed her an earpiece. Stay on comms. Stay behind me. And if I tell you to run... I won't. Nia. I won't, she repeated. Whatever happens, we face it together. Minjun looked like he wanted to argue. Instead, he pulled her into a kiss that tasted like goodbye and gasoline. When they broke apart, his forehead rested against hers. If we die tonight, we won't. But if we do, I want you to know, these last few days, his voice cracked, they're the only time I've felt alive in 15 years. Nia's eyes burned. Then let's make sure we get 15 more. They left the armory, and above them, the city held its breath. The estate sat on 10 acres outside the city, wrought iron gates, sprawling mansion, gardens that had gone wild since his father's death. Minjun remembered playing here as a child, before the violence, before the empire, before he learned that family was just another word for inevitable betrayal. Now it was Juno's, and Minjun was taking it back. Their convoy stopped at the gate, 3 vehicles, 12 men, every one of them willing to die. Minjun stepped out. The gates were open. Invitation. It's a trap, Taewan said in Korean. I'm counting on it, Minjun replied. He walked through the gates alone. Nia moved to follow. Minjun's hand shot out, stopping her. Not yet. Let me draw them out. Minjun, trust me. She did. Hated it, but did. Minjun walked up the long driveway, exposed, vulnerable, a single figure approaching a fortress. Floodlights erupted, blinding. A voice boomed over speakers. Stop! Minjun stopped. Remove your weapons. He did. Slowly, pistols, knives, the vest, until he stood in just his shirt and tactical pants, unarmed, defenseless. Bait. Come inside, Hyung, Juno's voice, amplified, mocking. Let's finish this like family. Minjun walked up the steps. The front door opened. Darkness waited inside. He stepped through. The door slammed shut behind him. Nia's earpiece crackled. Nia, Minjun's voice. Calm. Too calm. Count to 60, then come in shooting. What? Do it. The line went dead. Nia stared at the mansion. Started counting. 1, 2, 3. Taewon and the others prepared to move. 10, 11, 12. Her hands were steady on the gun now. 20, 21. No sounds from inside, no gunfire, no screams. 30. Just silence. 40. Nia's pulse hammered. 50. She moved. 60. The men followed. They hit the door with a breaching charge. It exploded inward. They poured through. Tactical formation, weapons raised. The foyer was empty. Blood on the marble floor, fresh. A trail leading deeper into the house. Nia followed it, her breath coming. Fast, gun raised, every instinct screaming, wrong, wrong, wrong. They found the first body in the library, one of Juno's men, throat cut, then another in the hallway, then 3 more in the dining room, all dead, all silent kills, no gunfire. Minjun. They followed the blood trail to the ballroom, massive, chandelier dark, moonlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. And in the center, 2 figures, Minjun and Juno, circling each other, both bleeding, both armed now. Minjun had reclaimed a knife from one of the dead. Juno held a gun, but hadn't fired. Shoot him! One of Juno's remaining men screamed from the balcony. Juno didn't. This is between brothers, he said quietly. Minjun smiled, blood on his teeth. Finally, something we agree on. They moved, not like enemies, like dancers who'd rehearsed this choreography their entire lives. Minjun ducked a punch, drove his knife toward Juno's ribs. Juno twisted, caught his wrist, brought his gun up. Minjun grabbed the barrel, redirected. The shot went wild. They grappled, crashed through a window, rolled across the terrace. Nia ran after them, found them at the edge of the property, the cliff overlooking the lake. 2 brothers trying to kill each other under the stars. Minjun had lost his knife. Juno had lost his gun. Now it was just fists and fury and 15 years of resentment. Juno landed a punch that cracked ribs. Minjun returned with an elbow that shattered Juno's nose. They fell, rolled, ended at the cliff's edge. Juno on his back, Minjun on top, hands around his brother's throat. Do it, Juno gasped. Prove you're strong enough. Minjun's hands tightened. Juno's face purpled. Do it! Minjun's hands shook. Please, Juno whispered. Please, I can't stop. I'll keep coming. I'll keep trying. I'll kill everyone you love until you kill me. So please. And Minjun understood. His brother wasn't asking to win. He was asking to lose, to end, to be free. Minjun's hands loosened. No. Juno's eyes widened. What? I won't give you that mercy. You want to die? Earn it. Minjun stood, backed away. You're exiled, banished. If I ever see you again, I'll finish this. But tonight... He looked at Nia, standing 10 feet away, gun raised, ready to shoot if Minjun gave the word. Tonight I choose life over death. Her over you. Future over past. Juno lay on the ground, sobbing. Not from pain, from something worse. Relief, rage, shame. You're weak, he spat. Maybe, but I'm alive and you're nothing. Minjun turned away from his brother, took Nia's hand, and walked back to the mansion. Behind them, Juno screamed into the night, wordless, broken, defeated. The war wasn't over, but the battle was. And for the first time in 15 years, Min-jun felt something other than rage. He felt hope, the price of mercy. Dawn broke over Chicago, and Min-jun's empire was bleeding. 3 warehouses burned overnight, 23 dead. The Volkovs had sent their message in fire and corpses. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the silence. No calls from his lieutenants, no check-ins from his network, no movement from the people who'd sworn loyalty. They were waiting, watching, testing whether mercy made him weak. Min-jun stood at the penthouse window, phone dark in his hand, and understood something terrible. Sparing Juno hadn't ended the war. It had started 7 new ones. Nia found him there at sunrise, still wearing yesterday's blood. "You haven't slept," she said. "Can't. Min-jun, they think I'm weak." His voice was flat, dead. Every faction in this city watched me spare my brother, watched me choose mercy, and now they're circling like sharks. He finally turned to face her. "The Volkovs want revenge. The Italians see opportunity. 3 of my own lieutenants are in talks with the Yakuza to split my territory." He laughed, bitter, broken. "I built an empire on fear. The second I showed compassion, it started crumbling." Nia crossed to him. "Then rebuild it on something else." "On what? Love? Hope?" His voice cracked. "This world doesn't run on hope, Nia. It runs on blood." "Then give them blood." Min-jun stared at her. Not random blood, not innocent blood, but make them understand. Mercy was a choice, not weakness. Nia's eyes were steel. "Show them the difference." "How?" "The Volkovs hit your warehouses. Hit them back, harder but controlled, precise." She stepped closer. "Show them you're still the monster when you need to be. You're just choosing when to be human." Min-jun studied her face. This woman who'd been a waitress 3 weeks ago, now strategizing like a general. "You're terrifying," he whispered. "I learned from the best." His phone buzzed. A message, encrypted. 2 words. Tsar's Palace, noon. Sender, Alexei Volkov. "He wants to meet," Min-jun said. "It's a trap." "Probably. So we don't go alone, we bring an army." "No." Min-jun's jaw set. "We go exactly as we are, 2 people exposed, vulnerable. That's suicide. That's a power move." His eyes sparked, the predator returning. "Alexei thinks fire scares me. I'm going to walk into his restaurant at noon in front of everyone and remind him what actual terror looks like." They walked into Tsar's Palace like they owned it. No backup, no hidden weapons, just Min-jun in a black suit that cost more than a car, and Nia beside him in borrowed designer clothes, both of them carrying nothing but absolute certainty. The restaurant went silent. Every oligarch, every enforcer, every waiter stopped mid-motion, watching these 2 insane people stroll toward the center table. Min-jun sat, gestured for Nia to sit beside him. "Borscht for 2, he told the frozen waiter in perfect Russian. "And bring Alexei. Tell him his guests are getting impatient." The waiter fled. Nia's heart hammered. "There are 12 guns pointed at us right now." 14, Min-jun corrected. 2 more on the balcony. That's not comforting. It's not meant to be. The kitchen doors opened. Alexei Volkov emerged. Silver hair, cold eyes, flanked by 10 armed men. He sat across from Min-jun without invitation. "You have balls, Kang, walking in here after what you did to my daughter." "What I did?" Min-jun's voice was silk over razors. "Your daughter tried to murder me at dinner, in front of witnesses, using civilian cover." He leaned forward. "I embarrassed you, Alexei. That's why you burned my warehouses. That's why you killed 23 people who had nothing to do with our world. They worked for you. That makes them fair game." "No." Min-jun's eyes went black. "That makes them a mistake." The temperature in the room dropped. "Is that a threat?" Alexei's men shifted, weapons ready. "It's an offer." Min-jun pulled out a piece of paper, slid it across the table. "Bank account, Cayman Islands, check the balance." Alexei glanced at his phone. His expression flickered. $10 million. Compensation for your lost investment in Carolina, for the embarrassment, for the warehouses you burned. Minjun's voice never wavered. In exchange, you pull the bounty on Nia, you stop targeting my civilians, and we go back to pretending to be businessmen instead of butchers. And if I refuse, then I stop pretending. The words hung in the air like a blade. Alexei studied Minjun, then Nia, the waitress who started all this. The woman who saved my life, Minjun corrected, and is therefore worth more to me than your entire organization. You'd go to war over a girl? I'd end the world over her. The certainty in his voice made Alexei pause. Finally, the old Russian smiled. Your father would be proud, or horrified. Maybe both. He extended his hand. Deal, but King. His grip tightened. This mercy you're showing? It's making you enemies, not just with me, with your own people. I know. Your brother contacted me. Before he died. Offered me partnership. Minjun's face went stone. What did you say? I said no, because I don't do business with desperate men. Alexei released his hand. But others aren't as principled. The Italians, the Yakuza. They're listening to anyone promising them pieces of your empire. Let them listen. You're not worried? I'm calculating. Minjun stood. Thank you for lunch, Alexei. The borscht really is excellent. They walked out. Every gun in the room tracked them. None fired. When they reached the car, Nia finally breathed. That was insane. That was necessary. Minjun started the engine. Now they know I'm still dangerous. I'm just choosing my targets more carefully. And the ones coming for your empire? Minjun's smile was cold. They're about to learn why mercy is a choice, not a weakness. Chapter 15. Ghost Protocol. The message came at 2 a.m., not through normal channels, through an old emergency line Minjun hadn't used in years. A single image, coordinates, timestamp, 1 hour, and a voice memo, mail, distorted. But Minjun recognized it instantly. Hyung, I need help. Juno. Nia woke to find Minjun already dressed, armed, moving like a man going to his own execution. What happened? My brother. He's in trouble. It's a trap. I know. Then why are you... Because if there's even a chance, it's real. Minjun's voice cracked. I can't leave him. Nia grabbed her gun. Then I'm coming. Nia. We already had this fight. You lost. She checked her magazine. Where are we going? The meatpacking district, where our father used to take us as kids. Sentimental? Strategic. He taught us every exit, every hiding spot, every kill zone. Minjun's jaw tightened. If Juno's there, he chose it for a reason. The district was a graveyard. Abandoned warehouses, rusted hooks, the ghost of blood and industry. They found Juno in the main slaughterhouse, alone, sitting on the killing floor under a single flickering light. No weapons visible, no backup. Just him, looking smaller than he should. Broken. Minjun approached slowly, gun raised. Is this real, or are you about to kill me? Juno looked up. His face was haggard, eyes red-rimmed. I tried to leave. After you spared me, I got as far as the airport. His voice was hollow. Stood in line, boarding pass in hand, new identity, clean slate. What stopped you? I couldn't remember who I was supposed to be. Juno laughed, wet, broken. The new name on the passport. I stared at it for 10 minutes and couldn't remember, because the only identity I have is your brother, the one trying to kill you. Minjun lowered his gun slightly. Juno, I'm sick, Hyung, in my head. It's not strategy anymore. It's not ambition. Juno stood, stumbling slightly. It's compulsion. I see you alive and my brain starts planning. Can't help it. Can't stop it. He pulled something from his pocket. Both Nia and Minjun tensed, but it was just a photo. Old, creased, 2 boys smiling. Remember this? Dad took it. Before Mom died, before everything. Minjun's chest tightened. I remember. That's who I want to be. That kid. Your little brother who looked up to you. Juno's voice broke. But I can't find him anymore. All I find is the monster who killed 14 people, who tried to murder our mother, who'll keep trying to kill you until one of us is dead. He set the photo down, pulled out a gun. Nia's weapon came up. Juno placed it on the ground, slid it toward Minjun. I'm not strong enough to stop myself, so I'm asking you to do it for me. Minjun stared at the gun, at his brother, at the impossible choice. No, please. Juno's voice shattered. I can't live like this, constantly fighting who I am, constantly hurting people, constantly destroying everything I touch. There's help, therapy, treatment. We both know I'll never stop. Not really. I'll say the right things, play the part. Then one day, Juno's eyes were dead. One day, I'll put a bullet in your head while you sleep, because that's who I am now. You're my brother. I'm your enemy who shares your blood. Juno stepped closer. Please, Hyung, I'm begging you, set me free. Minjun's hand trembled on his weapon. Behind him, Nia spoke quietly. Minjun, whatever you choose, I'm with you. Minjun looked at his brother, at the gun, at the photo of two boys who didn't know what they'd become. His finger moved to the trigger. Juno closed his eyes, waiting, almost peaceful. Thank you, he whispered. Minjun raised the gun and fired into the ceiling. The shot echoed like thunder. Juno's eyes snapped open. What? I won't give you that mercy. Minjun's voice was steel. You want to die? You want peace? Earn it. Live with what you've done. Face it every single day. That's your punishment. That's torture. That's justice. I'll come for you again. I know. Minjun stepped back. And when you do, I'll stop you. Every time. For the rest of our lives if I have to. But I won't kill you, because the second I do, his voice cracked. I become the monster, and I refuse. Juno stared at him. You're a fool. Probably. I'm going to make you regret this. I already do. Juno picked up his gun, checked the magazine, looked at Minjun with something between hatred and heartbreak. Next time we meet, one of us dies. I know. And you're okay with that? Minjun glanced at Nia, at the woman who'd saved his life by teaching him how to live. No, but I'm choosing to believe you can change, even if you don't believe it yourself. Juno's expression cracked, just for a second. Then he turned and walked into the darkness. Minjun watched him go, didn't lower his weapon until his brother's footsteps faded completely. Then he collapsed against a steel column, shaking. Nia was there instantly, arms around him. You did the right thing, she whispered. Did I? Or did I just condemn him to something worse than death? I don't know. But you chose mercy. Again. That has to count for something. In what world? In ours. They stood in that killing floor, holding each other, while somewhere in the dark his brother walked free. And neither of them knew if that was salvation or disaster. The video arrived exactly 12 hours after Juno disappeared. No warning, no preamble. Just a file that appeared on Minjun's secure server, bypassing every firewall, every encryption. Minjun almost deleted it. Then he saw the sender name, Mother. His finger froze. Nia saw his face go white. What is it? Something impossible. He pressed play. The screen showed a room, elegant, cold, European architecture, maybe Vienna, maybe Prague, and in the center, sitting in a leather chair like a queen on a throne, a woman, 60, silver hair, impeccable suit, eyes that could cut glass, familiar, impossibly familiar. Minjun's phone slipped from his hand. Nia caught it, looked at the screen, saw the woman. Who is that? Minjun's voice was barely a whisper. My mother. But your mother is dead. I watched her burn. I was 7 years old and I watched the house collapse with her inside. On screen, the woman smiled. Hello, Minjun. Her English was perfect, accent subtle. I imagine this is quite a shock, finding out your mother didn't die 20 years ago. She stood, crossed to a window. I've been watching you, every move, every decision, every kill, building your little empire, playing at being king. She turned back to the camera, and now you've failed the final test. What test? Min-jun whispered at the screen. As if answering, she continued. Your brother, Juno. I created his obsession, fed his resentment, engineered his betrayal. Min-jun's face drained of all color. Everything he did, trying to kill you, working with Carolina, all of it, was my design. To see what you'd become, to see if you'd be strong enough to do what was necessary. She paused. You weren't. The camera panned to show someone else in the room, bound to a chair, gagged. Carolina, alive, terrified. Your brother's fiancé, or should I say, my pawn. The woman walked behind Carolina, rested a hand on her shoulder. She's been working for me since before she met Juno. The engagement, the betrayal, all of it, scripted. Min-jun's hands clenched so tight his knuckles cracked. The woman continued. You had one task, Min-jun. Kill your brother. Prove you're strong enough to rule. Instead, her voice hardened. You showed mercy. Twice. She pulled out a knife. Carolina's muffled screams filled the audio. So now I'll teach you what mercy costs. No, Min-jun breathed. The woman placed the knife against Carolina's throat. You have 48 hours. Come to Vienna. Bring the waitress. We'll settle this as family. She pressed the knife, just enough to draw blood. Or I start killing everyone you've ever saved, starting with her. The screen went black. Min-jun stood frozen. Nia touched his arm. Min-jun. She's alive. His voice was hollow, destroyed. My mother is alive, and everything was her game. We need to think, we need to plan, we need to end this. Min-jun's eyes went dead, cold, the predator returning in full. She wants me in Vienna? Fine. I'll go to Vienna. Not alone. Nia, I know exactly what this is. Nia's voice was steel. It's the woman who made you, who traumatized you, who orchestrated everything. She grabbed his face, forced him to look at her. And you're not facing her alone. She'll kill you. She'll try. Nia's smile was sharp, but I'm harder to kill than I look. Min-jun stared at her. This woman who'd been a waitress, who'd saved his life, who'd somehow become the only thing keeping him human. If we do this, there's no coming back. Good. I'm tired of running. Nia, 48 hours, you said. She was already moving toward the weapons cabinet. Then we better start packing. They spent the next day preparing, not just weapons, strategy. Min-jun called in every favor, every debt, every ghost in his network. By dawn, the second day, they had 3 teams positioned in Vienna, blueprints of every building his mother owned, a contact inside Austrian intelligence, and one suicide plan that might actually work. This is insane, Taewon said in Korean, reviewing the op plan. It's the only play we have, Min-jun replied. She'll see it coming. I'm counting on it. Nia entered, dressed in tactical gear, hair tied back, gun holstered. She looked like a soldier. Min-jun's chest tightened. You don't have to do this, he said quietly. Yes, I do. Why? Because 3 weeks ago, I was invisible. A waitress. Nobody. Her eyes met his. You saw me. You made me visible. You made me matter. She crossed to him. So now I'm going to make sure you survive the woman who made you, because you deserve better than her game. Min-jun pulled her close. I love you. I know. If this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, then we go down fighting, together. She kissed him, hard, fierce. Now let's go kill your mother. It was beautiful in winter. Snow on cobblestones, Christmas markets, the smell of glühwein and roasted chestnuts, a city that had no idea monsters walked its streets. Minjun's mother owned a building in the first district. Converted palace, 5 stories, every window bulletproof, every entrance monitored. She wasn't hiding. She was daring him to come. They arrived at midnight. The building was lit, waiting. Minjun and Nia walked to the front door. No backup visible, no weapons drawn. Just 2 people accepting an invitation. The door opened before they knocked. A man, 50s, professional. "Miss Kang is expecting you, top floor." They entered. The elevator rose in silence. Nia's hand found Minjun's. "Whatever happens, I know." The doors opened. A penthouse, modern, cold, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Vienna's glittering skyline. And in the center, his mother, standing by the window, wineglass in hand, looking exactly like she had on the video, older, sharper, more dangerous. "Minjun," she turned, smiled. "My son, finally." Minjun stopped 10 feet away. "Mother." "And the waitress?" Her eyes landed on Nia, assessing, calculating. "The one who started all this." "The one who saved your son," Nia corrected. "Saved or ruined?" She took a sip of wine. "Before you, he was focused, ruthless, a perfect weapon." "Before me, he was dead," Nia shot back. "Just breathing." His mother's smile widened. "I see why he likes you. You have fire." "Where's Carolina?" Minjun demanded. "Safe for now." His mother gestured to the chairs. "Sit. We have much to discuss." "We're not here to talk." "No?" She raised an eyebrow. "Then why are you here, Minjun? To kill me? Your own mother?" "You stopped being my mother when you faked your death and spent 20 years manipulating my life. I was protecting you, training you, making you strong enough to survive this world. You were torturing me." "Same thing." She set down her glass. "Everything I did, letting you think I was dead, engineering Juno's betrayal, orchestrating Carolina's attempt, it was all to forge you into what you needed to become. A monster. A king. I don't want to be either." His mother's expression hardened. "That's not your choice. You were born into this world, born into blood and violence and power. You can't escape it. Watch me." "By doing what? Running away with your little waitress? Living a quiet life?" She laughed. "You think the world will let you? You think every enemy you've made will just forget? I'll deal with them." "How?" "With mercy." Her voice dripped poison. "You've spared your brother twice. How many more times will you spare him before he kills someone you love?" Her eyes cut to Nia. "Before he kills her." Minjun's jaw clenched. "That's what I thought." His mother moved closer. "You're weak, Minjun. You always have been. Too much of your father in you. He was soft too. Look where it got him. He was murdered. He was careless." She stopped 5 feet away. "I would have saved him, if he'd been worth saving, but he was weak, just like you're becoming." Minjun's hand moved toward his concealed weapon. "Don't." His mother's voice was sharp. "You kill me, Carolina dies. The codes I've implanted in my network activate. 20 different bombs across 3 continents, including..." She smiled. "Your precious Nia's family." Nia's blood ran cold. "You're bluffing." "Try me." Nia's finger tightened on the trigger. "I grew up invisible, worthless, nobody. I'm not afraid of dying, I'm afraid of being nothing again." "Nia, don't..." Minjun moved toward her. "Stay back." Her voice cracked. "This is my choice, my life, my power." She turned to his mother. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to disarm those bombs. You're going to release Carolina. You're going to leave us alone." Her eyes were steel. "Or I die right now, and you watch your son become the monster you tried to create. Except he won't serve you, he'll destroy you." Silence. His mother studied Nia. Then she laughed. "Oh, Minjun, you picked well. She's magnificent." "Mother..." "Fine." She pulled out the phone. "I'll disarm the bombs. I'll let you walk away." "Bullshit," Nia said. "Prove it." His mother made a call. spoke in rapid Korean, sent codes. One by one, the feeds on her phone showed the bombs being disarmed. Carolina released, the threats neutralized. When she finished, she looked at Min-jun. "You're free. Take your waitress. Leave this world. But know this." Her voice hardened. "The enemies you've made won't stop. The people who want you dead won't forget. You're walking away from an empire to live as a target." "Then we'll live as targets," Min-jun said. He took Nia's hand, the one still holding the gun to her own head. "Lower the gun, Nia. Not until we're gone." They backed toward the elevator, weapons trained on his mother, hearts hammering. At the door, Min-jun paused. "Why?" he asked. "Why did you really do all this?" His mother's expression softened, just for a second. "Because I loved you too much to watch you be weak, and I hated you too much for making me love you." Her voice cracked. "You were supposed to be my masterpiece. Instead—" She looked at Nia. "She ruined you." "No," Min-jun said softly. "She saved me." The elevator doors closed. They descended in silence. When they reached the street, Nia finally lowered the gun. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold it. Min-jun pulled her close. "You almost died." "I know. You held a gun to your own head." "I know. Don't ever do that again." "Can't promise that." He kissed her, desperate, claiming. The kiss of a man who'd just watched his entire world nearly end. When they broke apart, snow was falling, soft, clean, covering Vienna in white. "Where do we go now?" Nia asked. "I don't know." Min-jun looked at the building behind them, at his mother's window. "But we're free. For the first time in my life, we're actually free. Free people with a target on their backs. Better than prisoners with crowns." They walked into the Vienna night. Behind them, his mother watched from the window, and for the first time in 20 years, she smiled, not with cruelty, with something almost like pride. Her son had finally escaped her web and chosen love over power, weakness over strength, mercy over vengeance. Maybe, she thought, he's stronger than I knew. The snow fell, the city slept, and two people who shouldn't have survived walked hand in hand into an uncertain future, free, terrified, alive. If you felt that, even for a moment, drop a comment below and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter I'm writing for you.